Okay, let's do problem 735, asteroid collision. So here we're given an integer array, and each of them represents the size of the asteroid and the direction it's going at. So the 5 is going this way, and then the size of 10 is going to the right again, and then the size of -5 is going to the left. So these two will collide, and whoever has the greater size will remain. So in other words, this -5 will get destroyed. So the answer is 5 and 10. And then if we have two asteroids going in opposite directions with the same size, both of them will disappear. And in this question, -5 will destroy 2, and then this -5 will get destroyed by 10. So we are left with 10. So it's a standard stack question, but as for any other stack question, we don't really use stack much. So instead, I'm going to have integer array of stack. It will be maximum size of asteroids .length. And then, because it's not a stack, we do need a pointer that's pointing to the top of the stack, which is the latest value of this stack array. So I'm going to call it pointer and give initial value of -1 because there's nothing on the stack. So when we add the value onto the stack, I'm going to set this pointer to 0. So I'm going to basically increment this pointer. So suppose we put 5 into the stack, the pointer will be 0, and then when we put 10 into the stack, pointer will be 1. And we're going to iterate through the integer array of asteroids. We can just say asteroids. And there are basically two main scenarios where there is collision and then where there isn't any collision. So if there isn't any collision, we can simply do stack dot so we are adding the one. So at the moment, pointer is pointing to -1, so we want to add the value to plus pointer. So that means that we populated this stack with 5 and then 10. But when there's -5, so it can potentially destroy all of the values in the stack. So if it destroys it, the pointer will also get decremented. So essentially, the stack value doesn't remove the value, but where the pointer is pointing will be the size of the result. So we do need a logic for in case there is any collision. So I'm going to have Boolean destroyed equals false. And if it's not destroyed, meaning that if there hasn't been any collision, we add 1 to the stack. But what happens if there is collision? So what's the scenario? What's the condition for a while loop? It's basically the pointer. If the first value is -5, there wouldn't be any collision. So the pointer should be greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0. So there should be some value into the stack. And then the latest value that the pointer is pointing should be positive, and the current value we're reading should be negative. So that means A is less than 0, and stack.pointer should be greater than 0. greater than or equal to 0. And then there are a couple of scenarios when the current value is greater than stack at pointer, and there's another scenario where these values are equal. So if a is equal to stack, okay, let's choose a scenario where stack.pointer is less than, has smaller size than a, but because a is negative, we have to put minus a in front of it. In that case, this will get destroyed, so we simply do pointer minus minus. We are not really removing the value. We are it's essentially popping, but without actually doing the action of popping, and then we just continue the loop. Or else, if what happens if they are equal? Equal to minus a. If they're equal, pointer will also be decremented, so we will remove whatever is on the top of the stack, and then we can set destroyed equals true, so that we don't put whatever negative value we have into the stack, and then we can break the while loop. Else, which is the last scenario, when the stack pointer is greater than a, in that case we are going to do destroyed equals true, so that we also don't put the current asteroid into the stack because it's negative, and then we can also break. So now the loop is finished, and we would have populated all the values into the stack, but it would probably be less than the size of the asteroid length. So it will have like some of the empty values. And so we need to create int a answer equals new int. What do we want the size to be? So we want it to be plus plus pointer, y plus plus pointer, because if the pointer is pointing to the first element, that means the size is 2. That's why we need to set the size correctly. And then for int I equals 0, I is less than pointer, and then I plus plus, ends dot I is equal to stack dot I, and then we can simply return answer. Okay, let's run the test. Okay, let's submit. All right, that's it.